Now, how do we measure the contribution of entrepreneurs in development? I have listed here 9. One is the volume of quality products and its HSRP value in pesos. For example, in 1 year, we produced and marketed 60,000 bottles, 500 ml, with an SRP price of 1,050. So that's the value of the product that we have contributed to the economy. Although what comes to us is only about 40% or less. The other 60% is a big contribution to the dynamic work of the economy because they are marketing people, they are advertising people, they are sales people. So number of beneficiaries who are using products or services. We believe that users of Noni becomes healthy, happy, and they live a longer life. And ourselves are the example to this. We feel that we are healthier a lot. In fact, practically all of the people that had heart bypass during 1999 and 2000, we don't see them anymore. So, if you produce, for example, let's say, if you produce 100,000 liters, and you assume that each of these liters is consumed by one person, that is 100,000 people who are benefiting from the work of our enterprise. So, number of company employees and their income are used in stimulating the economy. I have already explained this. Number of raw materials, suppliers, and their income. Number of people employed in marketing and sales and their income. While we have 40 people in our company, about 30 to 40 people who supply us with the raw materials. There are about 60 to 70 people who are marketing our products. And that is where we get the 60% of the SRP. Well, we collect and transmit VAT, purchase tax, income tax, contribute to SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. I was trying to see how much in 2018 we have contributed to the government. Our company is small, but we have all of this would be more than 3 million pesos. Not big, but better than wala. Companies' monthly, quarterly, and annual income tax. Foreign exchange conserved and earned. This is interesting. I was reading the value of 1 ton of sugar, the value of 1 ton of coconut oil. And recently I came across the value of 1 ton of nickel. You know, 1 ton of nickel is about $13,000. 1 ton of coconut oil is something like $3,600 per ton. And then sugar, $250, $300 per ton. That's why our sugarcane people are not making money, are not producing. But there are more problems than that. Now, our noni export at 16 peso, $16 per liter is $16,000 per ton. So the value, our export value of noni is even higher than the value of mined nickel in the international market. So, whereas before we were importing noni from the US, which they got from Tahiti and from Hawaii, now we are exporting. We are no longer buying. We are exporting, and then we are conserving our foreign exchange. Level of authorized capitalization. Yeah. You know, I don't know with your new company, but we started with only 1 million authorized capitalization. And, you know, gradually we had to increase it. Our authorized capitalization is actually officially 13 million. From 1 million to 13 million. But our yearly operational volume is about 20 million. So you can measure these things, and all of this has very specific contribution to the economy and to social development of our country. Now, it's often asked, ano ba, what does it take to be a successful entrepreneur? After 15 years of entrepreneurship, I have concluded that an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur, must have three passions. Passion for entrepreneurship, passion for a product or service. I have a passion for noni. Whatever you say about noni, I'll defend it. Because I have passion for noni. And then passion for success. Do you know why? Because when you are an entrepreneur, there are so many problems. You know how I got to this passion of success? In 2006, we were applying for US FDA facility registration. And it was a runabout. First of all, we had to get the requirements. Actually, we received a list of about 27 different things that we must fulfill. Sabi ng mga kasama ko, sobra ito, this is very difficult. Then we were almost discouraged. But I have noticed that in the US, the importers of Thai products are Thai Americans. The importers in the US of Vietnamese products are Vietnamese Americans. two things. One is, where are the Filipinos? The second one is, I have noticed that I said to myself, if the Vietnamese and the Thais, could do this, if they can obtain the USDA facility registration, then Filipinos should be able to do it. And so we persisted until we got our FDA facility registration. So that is passion for success. I'd like to go back to passion for entrepreneurship. This one is really lacking in the Philippines. As I have discussed it earlier, this is not a part of our culture, because from rural society to urban industrial society, entrepreneurship is not a conscious possibility. So, if you want to do this, if you want to develop passion for entrepreneurship, there are ways to do that, which I'll discuss later on. Now, I think I'd like to say that SMEs are like the proverbial geese that lay the golden eggs. They need recognition, appreciation, a right environment, support, and care to produce the golden eggs. SMEs like PMCI must not only survive, it must be cost-effective and profitable. In PMCI's experience, the more money it is able to make, the more people it is able to help. And moreover, the more money PMCI is able to make, the more revenue we are able to give to the government. So, the government must nurture the, just like the golden egg, the eggs, so that it can have all the eggs that they need. It must be recognized that there are 3 or more kinds of entrepreneurships. The common kinds of entrepreneurship are production, trading, and services. Mr. Chairman, yours is services. Financial services. Now, if you look around, you will notice that the most popular of the 3 kinds of entrepreneurship, trading is the most common. Why? Because trading is the fastest, the easiest enterprise. You invest 100 pesos now, 100,000 pesos, just like what you did. You invest 100,000 pesos in trading, you are able to sell it, and you are able to sell it in 1 week products. Then at 30%, you have 30 pesos, at 30% growth. But if you put that in services and in production, you'll not say anything. Now, in production, it is the less attractive of the 3 enterprises. Although it has the highest contribution to development, production SMEs, such as PMCI, is complex, complicated, and difficult. It requires bigger capital, thus return to investment takes a longer time. For example, PMCI, we did not make any money until after 5 years. Yes, because, it's development, product development, market development, was saying about packaging, for example. When you are in the kind of industry that we have, packaging becomes a very crucial consideration for marketing. It's okay in the Philippines. Once you go out on international exhibition, that's when you see, wow, the Philippines is really far behind when it comes to packaging. We are still far behind. I think I've said about trading, but on services, you also need some capital. It is more difficult than trading. More capitalization is required. Return to investment is shorter than production, but longer than trading. What is important here is that location is skillful customer service. Are the key things that make your business, your service business, tick. So the discussion on the three types of entrepreneurship is made to show that government policy and support to entrepreneurship development must be stronger to the production type of business if local production of goods is to play an important role in the country's economic development. So the minimum support of government to production or manufacturing enterprises, in my experience, are as follows. One is our government must be business friendly. Consistently for a long time. The Philippine Index of Business Friendliness has not gone higher than 140 out of 189 countries. That's how far we are. The friendliness of business you can see in Singapore, in Hong Kong, and in the European countries. Because it does not give much return at the beginning. The government should really give 5 to 10 years tax break for production enterprises. Otherwise, they are discouraged. You make them with what little they make. Then marketing assistance such as free advertisement of new products in government TV and radio. I heard that in India, the Prime Minister have learned that noni is scarce but a very good health product. And so he proclaimed that noni in India must not be exported. That noni in India must be produced for the Indians and must have, the right price, so that the noni business in India would be good. Dito sa Pilipinas, wala pa tayo niya. Now, have you participated in any of the ASEAN? Not yet. Now, my recommendation is, like other Asian countries, the government should bear the cost of exhibition of international expositions and exhibits, such as the China Asian Exposition. We go there with Asian countries. The best exhibits are done by the Thais. The Thai government spends for that. And then second to that would be the government of Malaysia. And then even the government of Indonesia support their exhibitors abroad. Alam mo tayo, we have the poorest pavilion. And each of us have to pay for our space there. When in fact we heard that it's not paid, but we still collect from these small exhibitors. It's really, sabihin natin, discouraging, but we should persist. I think there should be tax compliance and financial management monitoring and guidance by the government. Dahil this is very difficult. And many people become a victim of penalties because of this. Okay. Sorry. Now, we have so many lessons learned, but I can say it can be done from my experience. And it is developmental. Investment in manufacturing or processing is bigger and takes longer gestation period compared to investment in trading and social services enterprises. But the returns in the long run is much bigger. The more money you make, the more people you are able. This is the social aspect of entrepreneurship. You know, we have discovered that the more money you make, the more people you are able to help, and the more people you help, the more money you make. You know what happened in the Philippines, for example, sa Negros? When the sugar industry was booming, what happened? The owners just use it on themselves. Luxuries, houses, and so on and so forth. They did not invest it in the employment, education of people. And so when the boom fell, they suffered. But with this philosophy of entrepreneurship, where the more people you help, the more money you make, then every time you have income, you invest and employ more people. When you have the raw materials, technology, labor, and capital, and production capacity, the limiting factor for business growth is marketing. And this is crucial to us who are on pioneering commodities, because we have to develop our market. My son, who is a marketing expert in New York, said, "Dad, why are you producing something that you don't have a sure market?" I said, well, you are looking at this from the standpoint of established businesses in the US. Because in the US, if you produce something without the market, then you add to your inventory. But in a developing country, you produce something that is good so that you can develop the market. And this is where you have to invest in marketing. You know, in 2017, 2018, we spent about 8 million per year of advertising. Sa amin nun. Now, this one is like a dream, but I would not have been able to do this without my experience. So, Cesar, these are my ideas. A national policy to accelerate SMEs development in the Philippines. Because I believe that really, if we can have more enterprises like ours, our development will be really enhanced. Then we must recognize that instruments of implementing national policy would include that the policy should be applied at the provincial level in all the 81 provinces of the country. Hindi lang national na dito lahat sa Manila. Because we know what it takes. There should be an orientation course on entrepreneurship in senior high schools and in freshmen in colleges and universities. There should be some kind of startup support to those who have their own starting capital and those who may need startup loan from SMEs banks. If we want to accelerate development of SMEs in the Philippines, we have to have training on entrepreneurship. There must be a program of what I call a supervised enterprise operation and management training. Hindi lang, hindi lang yung sasabihin lang, ituturo sa libro. You really have to supervise the enterprise operation. Start with, planning and then implementing the business with the supervision of an expert. Marketing mentors, guidance and assistance. Creation of an SME bank in every province. SME Bureau of DTI, DA, and Go Negosyo in every province. Cesar, this one is what I'd like to happen. Make agriculture as a business. Thank you. Dito sa Pilipinas, we have different concept of agriculture. Agriculture as a business. Then we have agriculture as science. Agriculture as an art. This is where you have landscaping. And agriculture as a way of life. And these are the people who are small, who don't really care. And unless we make agriculture as a business, agriculture, farming can never be an enterprise. And then I think our society and the government must view financial support to entrepreneurship development as public investment for a long-term sustainable socioeconomic development. Because, in fact, it is. It is an investment for development. I think that's it. That's to my wife. Taken in 2011 during our 50th wedding anniversary. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll open the floor to comments and questions. I'll recognize you guys here. And please put your best foot forward for the television audience. Okay? Okay.
Anyway, can I read this in advance? The Management Association of the Philippines, AgriBusiness and Countryside Development Foundation and its special partner institutions present the certificate of appreciation to Dr. Tito E. Contado for his invaluable support in the advocacy and promotion of agribusiness and countryside development and for his commendable and unselfish services rendered to this foundation as guest speaker at its 33rd weekly forum meeting held at the Formation Center, Missionaries of the Child Jesus, Australia Street Corner, Mapolo Street, Guadalupe, Makati, Philippines, given this 8th day of October 2019, Makati, Philippines, signed Chairman Ramon Ilusorio and President Ernesto Ordonez. Thank you very much. And I think you also have the books authored by our chairman, Different Voyages in Change, Chance, and Choice. 1,000 in history, men and women who made and changed it. And Ramon P. Ilusorio, Quantum Mutations, 10 Philosophies for Relevant Change. I think we will have another book launching when Dr. Contado launches his 2 books, one on money and one on entrepreneurship. Congratulations.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning. Meeting adjourned.